What's up, guys? Bachman back at you again with a different little Honda video. I'm going to go over the modifications and some work that I've done to this G150 that I'm going to be using for a scooter or a reverse three-wheeler or whatever. I have a bunch of ideas and I'm not sure what to go with. So in the description below, if you guys have any idea what I can use a 3.5 horse motor for, it's going to have a centrifugal clutch because that's all I can really find for this thing once I do the crankshaft mod that you guys have probably seen in the previous video of why machine shops are not always necessary. I'm going to show you what I've done to this and some of the stuff that I wish didn't happen and a variety of other things. To start off, I got the spark back to the motor. The points were slightly corroded, so I filed down the points. And if you can hear the spark plug boot, that's not really that tight, so I'm gonna have to put a new boot on it. You can see it move there. It doesn't snap onto the connector piece here as well as it should. This little rubber boot on the end holds it in place okay enough that I heard it fire over and it ran and whatnot. One non-desirable thing is this dipstick here. It's a standard Honda dipstick for these small engines. It's just a little piece of plastic that goes down and checks your oil. The other side, I'll screw this in later. The other side is currently not in there due to the fact that when I did the governor delete, I went to put this back on because this was a different style of dipstick that it came with stock, and it sheared right off with very little amount of torque. I put it on with an adjustable wrench and I was not pushing or pulling very hard on it at all. I might have applied a foot-pound or two and it sheared right off. I managed to get the piece out of the threads. So that dipstick was super long. It was about 4 or 5 inches because that stem is about 3 inches. So I had ordered one online. It's just a standard black one. Like, I don't know if you can see it on this G160 back there, but I had to cut the tab off of the plug so that way the torque converter could clear. It's the same type of thing. The yellow dipstick does not have any markings on it to identify low or full. So once the other one comes in, depending if they are the same length like they are supposed to be, I will probably not use this one to check oil. I will use the other one because it comes with identification marks to show whether it's low or full or in the middle or whatever. So that's it with the dipsticks and whatnot. I removed the water shield. A lot of people considered it a heat shield, but it went on the top of the head with that mount, and that third mount over there. This was a snowblower engine. Every other one that I've seen, the G150s at least, online, did not have that plate because they were used for pressure washers. And they had a gas tank over top of them, a metal gas tank. So what I had done was I took the original snowblower gas tank. It's a little wobbly, but it's pretty sturdy. And for the piece of equipment that I'm planning on putting it on, it shouldn't really matter considering I'm not going to be jumping it or anything. It's sturdy enough that it'll hold fuel and won't come off. But it's got a good about 2.5, maybe 3 inches of clearance. This is just a piece of fuel line with a bolt in it to prevent anything from leaking. I can't tell if there's anything in it. But I had made these brackets. These brackets look small and quite simple, because they are. But they had taken me some time to get the way I wanted. I had to put it on, take it off, cut it, put it on, take it off, cut it, grind it, round the corners, everything. Found bolts that fit through the gas tank, because these are shoulder bolts. They're threaded on the end, but they're solid all the way up to the back of this washer. So everything fits tight. It's not going anywhere. Like I said, it's got a little bit of a wobble or a shake to it, but it's not going to go anywhere. So that's what I did with the gas tank. I removed the governor. Right there's where the governor arm went in. I removed the interior governor, which was quite a shoddy piece of hardware in there. It was like little steel plates that were like riveted together, and I just didn't trust it. Once I took that side cover off and looked in there, I was kind of scared, to be honest. I've never seen a governor system like that. It was kind of chintzy and a little sketchy, so I took that off. I tapped that hole, put a little Loctite on that bolt, and put that in there. So this engine now has no governor. I kept the PCV. I took it apart and cleaned everything out of it. It has a steel mesh in there instead of a sponge type material. I had removed the stock carburetor because obviously the governor is what ran that, and I heard those carburetors are quite notorious for giving issues on these engines. That's one of the main things that Honda messed up with this specific engine. So I'm buying a 19mm Chinese carburetor replica of a Mikuni or whatever that's used on like Teos and Sunel, like Chinese four-wheelers and dirt bikes. That hole is a 19mm, and I will be mounting a custom-built intake, which I am working on over here. There's a little flange that I went off the original gasket that I'm going to be cutting out. I got a new set of step drill bits so I can be able to get to that hole. 3/4 is roughly 19mm, and I will kind of bore it out a little bit with a file if I need to. Last but not least, what I've done to this motor was a little custom, if you will, exhaust. It's not great looking, but I had left the original heat shield on it. It doesn't leak because I put air to it and everything. It comes out of the exit holes here. I think that'll have a pretty cool sound. Hole in the center is a 5/16 and everything else around it is a 1/4 inch. Top was capped off, so that is the only exit. That is the original header tube on there, obviously with the heat shield. And hopefully I might have to put a little bit of header wrap around it down in here, because this intake is going to be steel that comes off to probably about that far, and then the carb will mount back here. So I don't want to evaporate any fuel on its passage into the intake. So yeah, that's basically all I've done to the G150. I put these 150 sticker on it just for identification. I have so many freaking engines sitting around and whatnot, I can't keep track of every one of them, so I try to do something different to each one. And then obviously this has a 3-point switch. Right now it's on, off, on is in the middle, and off on the other side. I don't know if I want to keep this and somehow mount it on whatever it is I'm going to be putting it on, or if I just want to get a different 3-position switch, or maybe I can switch it out to a 2-position switch. It shouldn't matter. I don't know why they have 2 off positions and 1 on position, but I've seen a bunch of engines with that as well. So but yeah, main reason I'm using this engine on something small such as a scooter or something is because it is very light. If I had to guess, with the gas tank, the exhaust, and the carburetor that I'm going to be putting on it with the intake and the pod style air filter, it'll probably only weigh about 2 pounds heavier than stock. The muffler that was on it was obnoxiously large. It was very quiet, but it was obnoxiously large. So the muffler probably dropped an easy pound off of it. The metal plate probably weighs as much as those 2 little metal brackets and the gas tank, so I don't think I've gained any weight there either. And if it did, it's very minute amount, so I'll give you a shot of the back. My only other concern was this has an offset crankshaft. The crank comes out on the other side through where that like casting plate is, and then it's tied together with a chain in there, like a cam chain style chain, and then it comes out here, and it's a 2-to-1 ratio. The flywheel spins 2 times to 1 rotation of this output shaft. So I was worried that it might not put out enough power, or RPM I should say, but I think it'll be okay, because when I had it running, that thing was moving pretty good, and it's only going to be a scooter. I don't know if I'm going to want to do 60 or 50 or 40 or whatever the hell it's going to do. It's more or less something just to mess around with, and if anything, I'll sell it to some kid or something online. Maybe make it worth his time. I'll build it for $300-400, sell it for $5 or $6, make a couple $100 and have fun with it at the same time. I don't know. It's more or less just the thrill of building and seeing my product out there. I might take it down to Ocean City next time I'm able to go to Delmarva Bike Week in Ocean City, Maryland. People put stuff up for sale outside of their venues all the time, like stretched Honda Ruckuses and stuff. I was kind of going with that idea. I kind of wanted to use that lawnmower tire on this offset here. So it'll have the sprocket on that right there. This will be mounted to the engine plate. So it'll be an offset tire, kind of like one of those stretched Hayabusas or whatever. So you can see the whole side of one side of the rim, kind of like a Ruckus. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I really like this engine. I'm not a fan of Honda, but I love their small equipment engines. They're really easy to work on. I love metric stuff. Everything goes together the way you took it apart. Not like a Tecumseh. Briggs is pretty good. I got a Briggs sitting over there. But Tecumseh's, not to bash on them, but the only thing they made good was transaxles. But yeah, that's enough of my rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's the Honda G150, and I will have further updates on this little project in the future. Race mower is definitely going to be put on hold for a while. I don't know if I said that in the other videos. I might do a little bit of stuff to it here and there, but I cannot really spend any money on it right now due to financial issues. So I'm building this one in the meantime for next to nothing. Ooh, voice crack. I'm building this one for next to nothing. So I'm going to see about spending at the most $200 on this. The race mower is easily going to be somewhere in the $2,500 range. $2,000 to $2,500, because I'm making that one nice. Once we just hit January 2019, so Happy New Year's everybody. But throughout January and maybe February, I'll probably start assembling this YZ85 motor. I got to get a bolt kit for it for the cases, and that's probably all I'm going to be able to order for it for a while. It's $32 for a stainless bolt kit, so I'll order that. And then I'll do a build video of this engine, how to build a 2-stroke performance engine or whatever. But yeah, guys, that's the Honda 150. I'll see you in the next video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me any suggestions. Give me ideas of what you want me to see or what you want to see me build, such as like a Honda Ruckus themed something or other, or a 3-wheeler, like a reverse 3-wheeler, or maybe like a walk behind of some sort, like kind of like a stand-up race mower type thing. If you ever seen those, go on YouTube and search up race mower walk behinds or whatever. I've seen them. They're kind of funky looking. They're kind of stupid at the same time, but they're pretty neat looking. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, leave me suggestions. Thanks. Have a good one.